cottages are called Seldom Seen, and these are the old miners' cottages. And there used to be mining going on here. There's a Sheffield Pike. That's the first summit of the day. We're going to go up round the side, right hand side of it, following the wall and up round the back onto the top. We're looking back along the path we're taking from Seldom Seen, looking back to Ullswater. Enjoying this lovely weather?
Lovely! Once again.
Guess what? It's raining in the lakes for about the second month in a row.
Don't bother coming!
Yeah, don't bother coming to the lakes because it just rains all the time. I've actually started growing webs in between my feet and in my fingers. I think I'm turning into a frog. Fantastic atmospherics. You've got the clouds swirling about and the dappled light. It's amazing. We've just reached the coal at the back of Sheffield Pike. That's looking up the Glencoyne. That's the Glencoyne Valley. That path will eventually take you up onto Hartside and the Dodds. We've got Helvellyn up there somewhere, hidden today. summit of Sheffield Pike, 675 metres. Cracking view of Ullswater. That's the Glencoyne Valley. Still got that rainbow. The higher tops are in the clag now. That would be Helvellyn over there.
It's a Hewitt, a Nuttall, a Wainwright and a Burkitt.
Thank you, Andy. That's looking up into Patterdale and Hartsop. I'm going to take you to this end and get a better view of Ullswater. Look at that. Is that a viewpoint? Let's look into Cam, and you can see Striding Edge to the left of it. So when you come off Sheffield Pike to head down Heron Pike, you've got to keep to the right eventually. Once you've got through all the bogs, you have to head to the right, and then you'll see a muddy sort of path through the heather, heading quite steeply down the face of Heron Pike. You've got fantastic views over to Glenridding, Beck, Cam, Striding Edge. That will be Birkhouse Moor, I think. Yeah. You've got St Sunday's Crag, and you're going to start getting views of Patterdale and Ullswater Lake. And this heads down to the coal where you can access Glenridding Dodd eventually, which we're probably going to do because you get a fantastic view of Ullswater from the top of Glenridding Dodd. You have to carry on a little bit further than the summit, but it's so worth it. But this path over Heron Pike is fantastic. It's quite an airy feel. Like I say, it's quite steep going down, but it's just a peaty path. It's easy enough ground through the heather with fantastic views of the ridge and of Glenridding, Patterdale. Just got to be careful in your way down. But you can start to see how steep it is off that side and how fantastic this ridge is. And there is Glenridding Dodd with the trees on top. Yeah, that's what we've just come down. So there is a few tricky steep sections, but you wouldn't even class it as scrambling really. I mean, it's not that bad. But yeah, I think that's the worst of the steepness over. And just enjoy this lovely ridge with these amazing views. just going to stop here for a bit, get the drone out because it's sheltered. That's the rest of Heron Pike to descend down there. There's Glenridding Dodd. Look at the light of Hartsop on Grey Crag. Got a high street behind Grey Crag. Ramsgill Head. Highways. That's Place Fell. That's a lovely summit to do. So this is how you would access Heron Pike from Glenridding Dodd. You look up for this wall, there's a gap in the wall, and there's this tree. And that's where we've just ascended. So if you're ascending, this is what you look out for. This tree is a landmark through the stone wall. So you come to this gated wall, and this is where you just ascend straight up to Glenridding Dodd. That path takes you to Glenridding.
Hi!
Ready for this?
Yeah.
So that's the wall that we've come along from. We came down Heron Pike. There's Heron Pike there. Through the wall, along this bit, and we're just heading up Glenridding Dodd. We take a bit of a dog leg up here by that tree, turn right, heading up the fell side. So the summit of Glenridding Dodd. There's the lake. St Sunday's Crag behind. Brickhouse Moor. Heron Pike and Sheffield Pike behind. So we're actually going to continue right to the end of Glenridding Dodd, because that's where you get the fantastic view of the lake of Ullswater. So this is the view from as far as you can go along Glenridding Dodd. Isn't it worth it? You can see right down to Glenridding. You can see over to Hartsop, Passadale, Hartsop. You've got St Sunday's Crag there. Look at the light now. Lit up there, and Hartsop Dodd, High Street. You've got Place Fell, and you've got Ullswater, and that's looking over to Galborough. A couple of ways you can do Glenridding Dodd. You can do it from the car park that we've parked at Glencoyne, and you go up along Seldom Seen, and then you would follow the wall left, going up and then back down a little bit, and you'll see Glenridding Dodd to your left. Alternatively, you can park at Glenridding car park, and you would just walk up the track, head up right, straight up steeply, up the flanks of Glenridding Dodd on the other side. So we've parked at Glencoyne, so we're going to head back to the wall, and then we're going to follow it back to Seldom Seen. So it's a cracking viewpoint, especially when you come to the end. It's definitely worth doing a detour away from the main summit to get the view of Ullswater. Following along the wall, and you can actually go through this gate and down straight directly back to the road, but it's quite rough going. There's been a few trees down lately, so we're going to carry on about another 50 yards and turn right and follow the wall along the far side, back up a little bit and then down to Seldom Seen. Yeah, so you follow the wall and you go through a gap, so the wall is on your right side, and this is where you'll find a rough path back to Seldom Seen. So this path brings us out at the gate. I do apologise for Andy's language there. So we're going to actually, so if you take the right path, the right gate, that's where we came up from Seldom Seen. We're going to go on the left gate, or from this angle, the straight on gate. That takes us directly to the farm at Glencoyne. Andy's just informed us that we're going to go back the same way past Seldom Seen. So we're going back through the same gate, back on the path to Seldom Seen. So I'm going to say goodbye now.
Bye!
Hope you enjoy the video.
Bye from me.
I've got it attached to my rucksack at the moment, so I'm a bit close. So hope you enjoy the video and catch you all later. Bye! Billy says bye too.
Bye. Rockstar. It's all about spinning it, isn't it? They keep it spinning every time.
So good morning and welcome to Map, and this is the time, and this is a route that we did onto Sheffield Pike, down Heron Pike and onto Glenridding Dodd. This is from the Glencoyne car park. So that's here, the Glencoyne car park. It's National Trust, and there's been for lots of cars, probably about 30 I would say. It does get very popular at the weekend because it's so close to Ullswater that you get a lot of people parking here with their pedal boards and kayaks. So it's worth getting here early if you want to get a good space. And there's a track that leaves the car park off the main road, and you follow it along past the track up to Glencoyne Farm. Now you could go this way actually, up onto Sheffield Pike. There's a good path, you know, through the farm. So that is an option. But we carried on along, you cross the road again, and then you walk through a lovely path through trees right by the lake shore. And then you cross the road back again to head onto the path up here, which follows around the flanks of Glenridding Dodd, up onto Seldom Seen. It's a lovely track through trees and forest, and then as you get higher up past Seldom Seen, which are some terrace cottages, some old mining cottages, and you start to head out of the forest and you get views down over Ullswater. Really nice, lovely views. You carry along up to the wall and gate, and we headed along the flanks of Sheffield Pike up this way. Great views into the Glencoyne Valley and over to Glencoyne Head, and you're carrying on a very good track up to the back of Sheffield Pike. It's about here. Then you'll start to see a very, very wet, boggy path heading up the fell side, and it is, after rain, it's very squelchy. It's through heather and bogs onto the top of Sheffield Pike, 675 metres. You've got a cairn. Now it's worth going off to the edge here just to get the better view down into Glencoyne and over to Ullswater. And we sat here for a while. There's a shelter round about here to get out of the wind. Then we headed to the right hand side because we wanted to head down Heron Pike. So you need to aim more right. Get to a post here, and then you'll see a very peaty track heading quite steeply down Heron Pike. Great views on this ridge, looking over Glenridding Dodd, over into Passadell, Hartsop and Glenridding. Quite an airy feel, quite steep in places, a little bit of rocks to negotiate and scramble down, but it's easy enough. And you're making your way down, heading for this wall. There's a gap in the wall and there's a tree here and some crags. That's what you look out for. You go through the gap in the wall and go across some flat land here and aim to the other side of the wall. You keep to the walls on your left hand side and you kind of go up and back, double up on yourself, up the fell side to the summit of Glenridding Dodd, 442 metres. Now this is the true summit, but to get the best view of Ullswater, you need to carry on. It's not that far, just to about here, around about here, and you get really great views opening out along the whole length of Ullswater. Great views into Glenridding, Passadell, Hartsop, over all these fells and all the way along the lake. So after sitting here for a while and having a coffee, there is various options what you can do. I'll show the way that we went first. We went back to Seldom Seen, and I'll tell you the reason why in a bit. So you just follow back down to the wall, and then you get to this point here, and you want to be on this side, on the left hand side of the wall. So it's on your right hand side of the wall, following a rough path, slightly uphill, and then back downhill to this point here, which is the track you came in on. These are where you've got a gate, and then you've got obviously two gates. You've got the gate that we use to Seldom Seen, and you've got a gate straight on through Glencoyne Farm. We decided to go back past Seldom Seen, back along our route to the car park. About a 6 mile route. Now you can alternatively use this path here, which is a lot more direct, back to the road, but then you are walking a bit on the road more. Now, we didn't do this track because we've only done it the once, and there was quite a big stile to negotiate for Billy, and it's quite steep and wet and slippery around down here, and we heard there's been some trees down on this path, so the path is a bit indistinct in places and quite rough going, so we avoided that. Now you can also go this way down back into Glenridding. It would make it longer if you'd parked at Glencoyne, but if you parked at Glenridding, this is obviously the option you would use. There's a track, really good stony scree track all the way back down to Glenridding car park. So I hope you enjoyed our video, and I shall catch you all again very soon. Bye for now.